What's good, everybody? It's your boy Todd Smith here once again with yet another episode of No Gimmicks Podcast alongside my tag team partner Dale Clifford in Fernley, Nevada. Dale, we just got done checking out the WWE UK Championship title tourney. What's good, my man?
What up, Todd? Yeah, definitely a network exclusive thing as WWE keeps rolling out this new content and trying to drive people to their network. So we definitely know what direction they're kind of taking their business model is. They're going to live off of this network. And so they gave us a 2-day UK tournament with a bunch of talent that not too many people stateside have ever really heard of.
I think
I know I haven't people. I knew Pete Dunn just in name only. I hadn't seen any of his work, just in name only from the 2K Community Creations. I'd seen his name pop up there a little bit, so knew that he kind of might been a guy to watch. And then obviously we knew Mark Andrews, who was Mandrews in Impact Wrestling, and then Danny Burch has been a long time enhancement type character for NXT.
Yes, he has.
So all I know is that coming out of this thing, day one, I wasn't sold too much on day one. It ended very nice with the final match of the day one, which was Tyler Bate versus Tucker, which is Tucker is a guy trained by
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor, and I kind of had mentioned that there was another guy also in the tournament trained by Finn Balor.
Yes.
Jordan Devlin, and I kind of had brought up the point of so funny that the two guys trained by Finn Balor both look like Finn Balor.
Very similar list, especially Jordan Devlin there. Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was the best match that I thought came out of day one, but definitely know that business picked up in day two with the 3 rounds that we had, and definitely ended well with the championship match, and then the semifinals matches were very, very nice.
Yes, indeed. So, yeah, I'm in 100% agreement. There were some matches during day one that were almost a bit, if not mediocre, even a little bit achieved a little bit. And, some were a bit of a snooze fest. But, yeah, I definitely woke up for that main event in day one between Tyler Bate there and Tucker. So, we had Tyler Bate, we had Jordan Devlin, Trent Seven, Wolfgang, Mark Andrews, Joseph Connors, Pete Dunn, and Sam Gradwell all moving on to the second day of the tournament. Now, out of those guys who advanced, the UK Championship title match in the finals pitted Pete Dunn against Tyler Bate. These two competitors have trained together. They have tagged together. Now they are facing off against one another to receive the distinct honor of being the first UK champion. Early on in the match, it almost appeared as if an MMA bout had broken out during the title match, as these two exchanged some stiff forearm shots and punches. Bate had to actually utilize his speed to win the first battle here by laying Dunn out on the floor. Dunn continued to attack the injured shoulder of Bate, which he injured him prior to the match via blindsided attack, but Tyler Bate made him aware he was not going to allow himself to be pushed around, and he was not going to be phased by this, and he continued to counter each attempt, including an impressive-looking deadlift slam delivered to Dunn from off the mat. Dale, what's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this was pretty up there. Definitely, to me, could have been I almost feel like the two matches that we picked out here were like 1 and a 1A for me. We'll put this one as the A portion of those matches, so definitely a nice way to close out the UK tournament with a pretty solid outing between these two guys. And I know by the end of it, was kind of surprised that Bate ended up going over Dunn, because just the way I felt that it was building up is that they were making Dunn out to be the guy out trying to make a name for himself. Best way to make a name for yourself is win the thing, but then they put the title on the young 19-year-old Tyler Bate, who won me over with his 4 performances. Definitely thought he was good throughout, and definitely showed a different style of moves throughout each match. And then as we progressed into the finals, we saw the dive over the top rope onto the outside, and then the
Fosbury flip,
and then obviously the 450 stomp that they called. I don't something flop. I couldn't quite make out what Nigel McGuinness was calling the move.
Yeah, I think he said the Fosbury flop, I believe it was
Okay.
called. I think that's what they said. I think that's what my man had said up there, Nigel McGuinness.
And then obviously the move that you highlighted when he was in the triangle to do the deadlift power bomb, I just thought was a nice show of the power that he has for such a small guy.
Yeah, and to be able to recover from the attack prior to the match and be able to finish Pete Dunn off with that sweet-looking the Tyler Driver 97. That's a play on words there because Mitsuhiro Masawa actually used to utilize a move called a Tiger Driver 97, so that's where he got that from. And he goes on to win and become the first UK championship title holder. So, yeah, definitely a solid offering there. Now, you and I were kind of at odds on this one, but I agree with you. It was kind of more a 1A, 1B sort of thing because that match definitely delivered. But, you know, the best match of the tourney, in my opinion, definitely was Pete Dunn taking on Mark Andrews, which took place a little bit earlier prior to that match. So in this one, we had a battle between two young, fierce competitors who actually feast off against one another in their very first professional wrestling match. You had the sadistic and driven Pete Dunn, who possesses the submission skills of Zack Sabre Jr., the technical ability of William Regal, and kind of resembles Tim Roth from Pulp Fiction, Dale. His opponent, you know, the high-flying Welsh wonderkin, Mark Andrews, possesses a very impressive moveset, which consists of unique high-flying maneuvers, counters, which assist him with unleashing an aerial assault onto his opponents. Some of the highlights include Dunn teasing a spot where he planned to stomp Andrews' hand into the ring step, which was countered into a Frankenstein on the floor, and also Mandrews countering Dunn's scoop slam into the counter and retaliates with a somersault transition into a cradle. Dale, what else are your thoughts on this match here?
Yeah, definitely pretty good. Another solid outing and getting to learn much about both of these guys even farther. Obviously, Mark Andrews we knew a lot about already, but liked his running the barricade move on the outside.
Yes.
He's got the shooting star press, which he missed in this one. Dunn caught up the knees and then rolled him into a move, and then I can't remember if he rolled him into a move or if then Andrews countered from that as well. But I just know that they had several situations there where they countered each other, so that was very nice. So yeah, definitely nice back and forth. And all I know is that the finish of it kind of got botched a little bit when Dunn hit the second X-Plex, because I know he hit the first one on the stage, and then he went for another one, and Michael Cole started calling for Dunn's finisher on the X-Plex, and then he's like, oh, now he's going to go for the finisher here, and I was like, oh, there's typical Michael Cole screwing things up again.
That's Michael Cole being Michael Cole there, man. It was bound to happen eventually.
I also know that Michael Cole kept saying, there it is, after almost every move. I was like, there what is? It was ridiculous. I was so glad that Michael Cole could make his presence felt in the UK tournament as well.
You know what, Michael Cole, if you're going to, go with the there it is reference from the early 90s, at least, make it, whoop, there it is. So that way it's at least complete. You know what I mean? But anyways, yeah, in the end, Dunn outlasted Andrews by delivering the bitter end, the actual bitter end finishing maneuver to the fan favorite.
Which is, by the way, just a sick move. Absolutely. I thought probably
very unique.
The best finisher of the tournament, I think, is the bitter end. I love that finishing move.
Without question, I've never seen anyone deliver the flatliner style finisher that way out of a pump handle. Yeah, so he finished off Mark Andrews to advance to the finals of the UK Championship title tourney. Now the next topic here we have, Dale, who do you feel had the best performance of the tournament overall in both days? Who was your top performer?
Well, I had three I was trying to decide with. I didn't want to exclude Mark Andrews because I thought when it came to all of the aerials, he far and away shined bright there. But because he did what we already expected, I was kind of just trying to highlight some of the guys we didn't know. I had my eye on Wolfgang, but then he kind of lost to Tyler Bate, and then Bate won me over even more in the championship match. So ultimately I ended up going with Tyler Bate as my best performer of the 2 days.
Gotcha. Yeah, Tyler Bate is one hell of a competitor. You know, the guy is only 19 years old. He possesses a rare combination of power, high-flying striking, and charisma. And like a Timex watch from back in the 80s, man, that guy could take a licking and keep on ticking. You know, and he also displayed some very solid chemistry with each one of his opponents, bringing out the best in each of them while showcasing his own skills in the process. And I just love the fact, like I said, he took the Tyler Driver 97, you know, that was a play of words from the legendary Mitsuhiro Misawa. That's who he named that move after. And he's got fighting spirit and guts and determination, just like Misawa there. My performer in the tournament, I had to say, top performer was definitely Wolfgang. You know, Wolfgang being one of the larger competitors in the tournament. I think they kept on saying this guy weighed about 255 pounds. I'm not sure exactly how tall he is, but he seemed to tower over most of the competitors in the tournament. This guy, it's interesting because earlier on, I think in day one, he faced off against a guy named T-Bone. And T-Bone was trained, ironically, by a guy named Todd Smith. Now, for those of you who don't know, I actually used to be a professional wrestler, but I have never trained anyone, okay? This is the Todd Smith who was Warbeard Hansen from the tag team War Machine. He trained T-Bone, but I said that this guy Wolfgang, he resembled Todd Smith, a.k.a. Hansen, a little bit more than his actual trainee did, you know, because he's got the big beard and the long hair and the tattoos and everything. And this guy, he really broke out some cool, you know, moonsaults and stuff like that, both delivered inside and outside the ring. Also, he utilized the swanton quite a bit, and, you know, also had a pretty decent power game. So, yeah, so I was very impressed with what this guy showed me on both days in the tournament. So, Dale, the last question I have for you is, now that the WWE UK title tourney is in the books here, what do you feel is the next step for the WWE with this title, now that it's around the waist of Tyler Bate?
I don't know. I know that rumor was that they were going to try to turn this into a weekly UK show.
Okay.
So that means a lot of the guys that we saw in the 16-man tournament we're going to see again. Again, day one performances didn't wow me too much to want to see a lot of those guys again. Day two performances, if we can get more day two performances, I definitely would be interested in what this UK field could provide. But right now, I'm a little worried because also I know that the social media reaction wasn't very good. WWE did a couple polls, and when that followed right after after day one ended, asking about the thoughts on day one and some of that stuff, and the number one answer was didn't watch or don't care.
Ooh,
so those
not good.
That can't be good. It's like, even to be in the this was first, even if it was second, that is not very good. It's like if you're putting out a product that you're hoping you can turn into a weekly show, you kind of need didn't watch or don't care to be near the bottom. You're hoping people are watching this thing and they're caring about the product that you're putting on the network. So I don't know.
I have some concerns here. I truly do, because, you know, a lot of the guys who were featured in this tournament were there just to fill a roster spot, basically. You know, there were about maybe those 8 guys who actually advanced to the second day. I wouldn't even say all 8 of those guys. I say probably about 6 of them, because I wasn't too impressed by that guy, Gradwell, I believe his name was, the bald-headed guy, the one who was from right there in Blackpool. Neither was I too impressed with Finn's other trainee, the guy Devlin. I just don't think that guy's ready yet. All of the other 6 competitors, I'd say, would definitely be regulars on that show. And then, like I said, we're already getting about 7 hours worth of WWE programming per week between Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and 205 Live. Do we really need a possible 8th or 9th hour of WWE programming per week? Also, you know, where does Tyler Bates fit? Does he fit on the main roster? Does he fit in 205 Live? You know, so they've got to come up with a plan here, and they got to come up with a plan quick. I've said I have enjoyed the Dusty Rhodes Memorial Tag Team Tournament. I enjoyed the hell out of the Cruiserweight Classic. That was just phenomenal. And then this had its good moments, but like I said, make these tournaments a 1 or 2 night event and give a trophy or some sort of an acknowledgement at the end of the evening, and then let that be it. They don't need to use these as an avenue to create a new belt. I think they already have enough belts in the WWE. So it should be very interesting to see which path the WWE takes here. Now that they've crowned their first UK champion. So Dale, on the no gimmicks scale, what do you give this event here on a scale of 1 to 5?
I'm gonna give it a 2.5.
2.5. Okay.
Pretty basic a scale. It was a 2-day tournament. Day 1 was a 1 out of 8 on the match scale. I only cared about one match. Day 2 delivered, but that's the thing. Day 1 didn't, so it gets a 2.5.
Okay, I'm going to be very generous here. I've been kind of a generous and giving mood here lately with the WWE with my ratings, because I actually enjoyed not so much all of the matches, but getting exposed to some of this new talent that I have not seen before from the UK. And I enjoyed the introduction of Tyler Bates via the main event in his match against Tucker, plus the exciting bouts that we had during day 2. I'm going to give it a 3. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm just going to go with the 3 for the UK title tournament. So Dale and I can sit here and talk about wrestling all night long. That's what we do. But unfortunately, we have to go ahead and conclude this episode of No Gimmicks Podcast. So thanks for tuning in for our recap of the WWE UK Championship title tournament. Please visit our official YouTube channel. You can find us at www.youtube.com/the No Gimmicks Podcast. If you would like to receive our notifications when we release our new episodes, then please subscribe. We would like to hear from our viewers, so please leave us some feedback in our comments section on our official YouTube channel. Also, please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at the No Gimmicks PC. Be on the lookout for my updates on my personal LinkedIn account weekly, usually on Monday afternoons. Also, check out Craig Perkins' weekly article featured on ProWrestling.com. And remember, sharing is caring. Feel free to share the links to our episodes with other pro wrestling fans on your social media accounts as well. That does it for this episode of No Gimmicks Podcast. For my tag team partner Dale Clifford in Fernley, Nevada, this is Todd Smith in Bristol, Connecticut signing off. Until next time around, y'all take care.